the let function helps us to store variables and simplify some of the tasks, right? Suppose here you are doing your sales analysis for your products. You have a sales order table and a products table. So the sales order is keeping the data for your sales information. Then the products table is keeping data for your product list. Sorry, the product table. So what you want to do is, here you have the invoice number and the product code, but you would want to bring the price and the cost, so that you here the first task is to calculate the final invoice amount and calculate profit. Those are the two tasks. But to do that, your data here, your sales data is here in the first table and the products data is here. So you would want to say quantity so to get the final price is, you are going to say selling price minus cost times quantity, right? Less discount. Okay, so the way to go about it is, we are going to have our formula here. We say invoice amount. So without a let function, we are going to do this. Let me do it the rudimentary way. We would say let's add more columns. We would say here equals to x lookup. Let's use x lookup. Equals to x lookup. We are looking up this from what? This, and here we want to return. Let's say we want the product name first. Value if not found, we can then, so let's say this product name. Laptop bag, let's drag this down. Oh, you see what's happening? We should log what? All this should be logged, so that when we drag down, it doesn't keep on going down, right? Absolute referencing. So next is, we would pull the selling price. Or for selling price, let's copy this. So we want to return F. So let's just change here to F. Everything else remains the same. That's the selling price. And we want the cost. Equals to. So let's paste again. So cost is in G. We come here and change this to G. Right? Now that we have our details, we would then come to say, to find the final price. Do we have VAT here? We don't have VAT. Okay. So we are just saying equals to net is equals to gross minus gross times discount. Gross equals to quantity times price. Price equals to that. Okay, so we'd say this multiplied by that.
Say permanent.
Sorry, I got disturbed. So we would say this times this minus quantity multiplied by the cost. That by that. That will be it here, but we still need to what? To remove the discount, right? So this is our gross, okay? Minus gross times discount. So minus this again. Okay, maybe let's calculate this first. Then let's say this is gross. Then let's put discount here. Discount price. We say equals to that multiplied by what? Multiplied by that. Maybe net would say this price less that. So the price will be what? That's the invoice price. So you can see the steps that you are taking. There are many. But the let function, let me copy this, maybe, and paste it here. Oh no, let me delete this. So the let function now, what does it do? We can all do all these steps in one column. So instead of having all this, we just want the invoice. Amount. So we would say equals to let, what we want first, we want the selling price. We can just say the price. So price, we are assigning it a variable to say we are doing X lookup. This from where? Here. Let's log here. What are we returning? We are returning this. Value if not found, we can leave it like that. Then that's, so price now is storing a value that we are looking up from that table. What else do we want from that table? We want cost. So cost value equals to X lookup that from here and we return what? This. We log it and match mode. So if value if not found, we can do this. Then what do we want to do now? Now that we have looked up, what do we want? We want the discount price. Let's just call it disc. Then disc, what are we saying? Discount equals to what? So we can now use the variables that we have stored there. So discount would say price, right? Would say price, and it will come up with an X there. Price multiplied by what? Q, right? That's gross, less so price times quantity. That's our gross, right? Then from the gross we subtract the discount, which is the gross. Or maybe before we do this, let's put gross amount. So gross, we are saying its price times what? Times quantity. That's gross. And we can say now the discount is gross, which is this, multiplied by what? The percentage. Okay. Then we can now want the net, which is the invoice amount. Here, gross is that we want the discount. Okay. So the net is now the gross less discount. We are done. Now we have the price only in one column. Never mind about if the logic was correct, but this is how to go about it. Only in one formula. You can look up your value that you want, store it as a variable. So here, these names that you are giving, you can name them anyhow you want. So it's name, a value, name, value, right? Name, value, name, value, or just the calculation. So this is just what the calculation, gross minus discount, which is the calculation. So it makes your work simple. Instead of you writing all these columns, you can just do it in one go. I hope I'm not confusing you. Hello?
I'm confused.
You are confused.
Maybe I'm confused. So Andisa.
So Andisa.
Yes.
All right. What we'll do is I'll also try to find another video. But just know that there is a formula called let. It simplifies your work. Instead of you doing all those VLOOKUPs, you can embed everything in one formula instead of you writing all those columns. You can just store and go. Because here we wanted to product name, so in this case it won't appear there. We want only values. So you are importing this and store it. Import this and store it. Then do some calculations inside, right? Then do something at the end. So I think this is the most efficient way of doing it. You won't have many columns. There is also another example. This one, you then need to go about it. If there is need to revise, we can. I'm not surprised if it's getting difficult. These are some of the advanced formulas in Excel. So don't worry, you get hold of it.